Reality. I can make you wanna scream my name. I can make you wanna give me tatted. I can make you wanna be the one you really
Reality.
Yeah,
Yo, there's a lot of, I know you like a little hometown hero, low key. I know you wear Douglas on your back. Where does that like hometown pride come from? We gotta get back down to the roots just from the beginning.
That's a great question. When it comes to the hometown thing, like that's where I'm from. You know, there's people around from old to young, and they all show love, they all support, things like that. So it's just like this hood is an underrated hood, bro. From people like Clyde, like who've been playing ball, to people like fucking Galvis, you know, who's overseas playing ball right now.
Gangsta.
And they from the hood, and a lot of people get overshadowed and things like that. And it's like, I feel like we're the most talented hood in the world. Like, show me. We got people that play guitar, people that do stocks, like people that do everything.
Just
musically,
like that,
crazy. Like,
diverse.
Ridiculous, yeah.
Got Big
That's a
Dog.
fact. Oh yeah, shout out to Big Dog. You already know my boy.
I gotta get that interview in for real.
That's a
gotta
fact.
get that
That's
one.
a fact. I look forward to seeing that.
You was talking about heads playing ball. There's a lot of that going on here. You started playing ball. I know, like that was before you was making music. That was sort of your lane.
In a sense, like I was always doing both.
Okay.
Like, I've been making music like as far I can't remember not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, and basketball was one and the same for me. Just two things, two passions that just kept me out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know, basketball and women saved my life. You know, like women coincide
Gangsta.
with the music with me, like the relationship. I always had something to talk about, like, you know, things of that nature. I started off like writing a poem just to end up talking to this girl. I didn't know how to do it, so my friend's pops. I was like, "How'd you get his mom?" He was like, "I wrote her a poem and I tried it, and ever since then I've been getting better with my wordplay.
I got you.
Figuring out how to talk to the ladies and
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like, you know, a little bit of destiny, you could say, just due to the fact your name is reality. Like that's not an artist moniker or anything. That's just straight up your name. Like how did you get that name?
I was born with it.
I assume.
Yeah, gotta ask my pops.
Okay.
He was on his 5% journey, and with my mother, I guess she pretended she wasn't pregnant, and then when I was born, boop, it's a reality.
Yeah, shit changes like that.
Yeah, just like that. My brother's name is Reginald, so
Double
I'm
R.
glad I got the cool name, the cooler one. Reginald's a cool name.
Yeah. I mean, I guess how you said it's true. Everybody's just born with their name. It's not much you could do to really earn it. Just your parents' sort of circumstance.
And you know, some people, I feel like either way your name is given, you can make a name up for yourself and then live up to it. And I feel like the best names, though, the ones that really stick are the ones that are given to you. Like if you out here in the streets and people end up calling you a certain thing, like, you know,
I feel
boom, it ends up sticking. Like, you know.
It's like the lifestyle chooses you, you don't choose it.
That's a fact.
Nah, facts. And I know about like 4 years ago is probably when you started taking the music like more seriously. That's at least where your catalog starts, right? I think Back Home.
Back Home, that was my first video.
Yeah. Was that your first song by any chance?
No, it wasn't. My first song, oh man. My first song I made. Man, this has been a while. I was making songs in 3rd grade. I tried to start a rap group.
Wow.
Called like the All-Star Challengers.
Yo, you was futuristic with it, bro.
Yeah,
That's
like the All-Star Challengers. Some challenges, you know, something like that. But like, I was trying to get people down in 3rd grade. I remember trying to get my friends like Darwin, Kamari. I was getting everybody a part of it. So,
shout out my son Darwin with too.
That's
Happy
a
birthday.
fact. Yeah, happy birthday, Darwin, my boy. Leo season.
Facts.
But yeah, man. So my first song, it's crazy, like, but it was evolutions. I ended up like having like everything I needed when I started making music in elementary school. Like the Children's Center right here, Frederick Douglass. They used to have the Intel Computer Lab, and they just so happened to have a music studio in there.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's crazy. Shout out to Martin. You know what I mean? He was out there. Martin used to run the studio. The computer room and everything for all the kids. And that was just what I did. Like me, my man Jacquees, who goes by JQL, shout out to him. We ended up performing at Radio City when I was in 5th grade.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we performed our original song called This Is Our Community. And
that had the wholesome tracks even from back then.
Yeah, bro.
That's gangsta. That's gangsta. That's some
this
good
is our
kids.
community. Welcome to the unity. When you come around here, people don't even care. Like, you know something like, yeah, that was how it went.
Yeah.
But we performed it, the Rockettes walked us out on stage and everything, so it was dope.
vibe.
Yeah, man, so I got that experience at a young age. I was always performing in church. That's where I was raised. Every Sunday, me and my brother got to wake up early every day of the week.
Is that kind of how you develop your voice? Through church,
I would say so, yeah. Like, I don't remember, like, not doing it. I just woke up on Sundays and
It'll always be part of
we
the
was
routine.
singing in church. We didn't go to one of those big churches where we had a giant choir.
What church you go to?
I don't go to church anymore, but the church I did go to was called House of Prayer, Acts of the Apostles.
Okay. Is that a Christian church?
It is a Christian church, yeah. Apostolic. You know, you got your Baptist, and I don't really know all the different sections. I know there's differences and things like that.
Well, yours was apostolic.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, man. So that's pretty much like where I've developed like
The love for
my
it.
performance, like stage presence and things
Yeah.
like that. Like we would
Yeah.
have visitors come from the church, people from like out of town, overseas, just randomly, hey, this is a church, let's just go in here and see how it is. So just remember performing for people from guest churches, other places, other cultures is coming in, and like, and my voice and me and my brother being up there, we just make them feel welcome. Like music is a way to bring people together, so that's definitely something that I gotta give credit to.
When did you decide that music was gonna be like your thing, like how you made a living or how just you express yourself?
I remember being in church and the pastor came, he was like, in the middle of the sermon, he said something. He was like, what you want to be when you grow up? I was like, a singer. But I said singer because I know how they viewed like rappers and stuff like that. Even though like I've always been a person that like I couldn't help but do both. I remember saying I want to be a singer. He was like one of them rap singers. And I was like, yeah. He was like, nah, you can be that. I was like, oh, well.
Dang, that's crazy. The pastor wasn't feeling it.
No, yeah, just the idea. Back then, in like the early 2000s, for some reason, people thought it was like gangster and thuggish to wear the hat backwards. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, especially growing up, like I said, I was raised by my grandmother. Everybody's old school. Her friends is old school. She's not chilling and drinking. She don't do none of that.
Of course.
Straight Christian type lifestyle. So.
Very Christian values. I got you. So then, when the pastor said like, "Nah, I don't see that in the future," that kind of made you be like, "Oh, no, that's definitely what I'm gonna do."
I mean, yeah, it was like in my brain. I was like, you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's cool. Like, I can't help it. I couldn't find happiness in life if I didn't do music. Like,
Yeah.
I was a basketball player, but for basketball, it became more politics than it did like about the passion of the game. Like, I just wanted to go to college for free, you know. I didn't get the best grades in school, like that hindered my opportunity. And as well as having teammates that I actually care about, but they didn't have the same passion for the game that I did.
I feel
so,
you.
Opportunities. I made the most of the opportunities I had. I don't have no regrets. I still love basketball. It's just it's not for me no more. You know, I'm not out there. I don't need to put my body on the line physically for that.
I got you.
But it's always fun. I'm a big competitor, so I personally wouldn't play basketball if I'm not about to cook somebody.
I got you. Like, unless you're like performing at the top of your level,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna take it casually if I'm not gonna go 100.
That's a fact. And for all that, we just shoot around and work on some free throws. You know, free throws win games. So is defense. Yeah.
But so pretty much after like Back Home came out, you had your reality vibe tape.
Yo!
Come on, bro.
The vibe tape.
How would you like describe like that vibe of like the tape was trying to encapsulate?
It was a vibe. I'm gonna actually re-release it. That's the thing.
Yeah, gangs. So you gonna like try to master it and stuff?
Yeah. It was just something.
How did you
I just
record
wanted
that?
to. I did all that stuff in my crib. Like,
That's dope,
I had
bro.
my own studio setup. Things
Okay.
of that nature. Never had the best equipment, but I had the best heart. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make the most out of the
You
situation.
did what
I was
you
given.
did what you did with
So,
what you had, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But
Respect.
yeah. A lot of it was like a few of those industry. Yeah, mostly everything on there was an industry beat, and I'm not like big on remixes, but it's definitely something that I would like take some time to like reproduce, and put it out again because I got a bunch of songs with features from people like my boy Harlan Rose and some actual original music like that we have in the catalog. It's like, yo, I'm about to re-put it out, like,
Yeah.
get some artwork for it, and you know, I want to
Do
have
it right.
that. Like, I'll drop a vibe tape, like every year, I feel like I'll drop a vibe tape in between projects, you know, because a lot of albums, you might want to keep some stuff to yourself, just to display as your joint, but then there's other joints that you don't want to hold on to, and I'm like, I don't want to hold on to it. I want to put it out there, and it's the project, like the vibe and the body of work for people to listen to, just plug in your headphones, just vibe out, you know.
Yeah. Nah, like the album is more like you have a specific message you want to get out. Meanwhile, the vibe tape is just for the love, the love of the craft, and for the love of the fan. Just being like, yo, I'm trying to see what was going on in this time period of life.
That's a fact.
Because that was also about like, you know, the same 4 years ago, like around back home.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I made a bunch of songs that I never put out.
So this was all high school back then? Like
this was like literally right after I graduated.
I got you.
Like the year I moved back from New Hampshire. After I graduated, that August.
So you went to high school out in New Hampshire?
I went to high school all 4 years here. I graduated at 17, and that August, instead of going to college, I ended up moving to New Hampshire to participate in a program called City Year.
Oh yeah, I heard of City Year before.
Yeah, so
Gangster, that's the coolest hell, bro.
They worked from grades 3 to 5. I didn't have like the easiest experience up there, like due to my age. I was like younger than everybody.
Yeah.
And like, you know where I'm from. Like I'm the only me there, you know, and everybody else is on like more
you was basically an overachiever.
Yeah, you could say. And I feel like I also was given the opportunity due to the fact that I was a minority and a city kid, like, oh, you guys don't get too many opportunities like that, but like, little did you know, I'm actually intelligent enough to hang with everybody up here mentally.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have the easiest time up there, but
shit, bro, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that. It sounds like, you know, you learn from it at least.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody else usually works from like grades 3 to 5. I had a unique situation, like being that the teacher I worked with, it was, like I said, it wasn't the easiest to work with for whatever reason, but I ended up working with like the paraprofessionals, the disabled kids.
Yeah.
Ended up working with the gym teacher, like I was a floater, kindergarten, so I worked with everybody.
Okay.
And I was just very grateful. I'm like, wow, nobody else in like the history of the like program, the company, as far as I've heard, has like been in a position like this. So I was just glad I got to interact with a bunch of different people, you know, so that means a lot.
That's dope.
It was fun while it lasted.
So then once you did, that's when you when you left New Hampshire is when you started doing like the videos and...
That's when I got back around the people that were doing that. I was just isolated, just me and white people.
Yeah. I mean, he was in New Hampshire.
Yeah, you know, so I was recording all my songs in my phone with GarageBand for like 3 years at that point. In high school, I had songs that my friends were here, and they'd be like, okay, reality. Like, I've always been making songs like my whole life, so I don't remember not doing it, but I do remember being the different one, like everybody else on the basketball team. I'm the only one like, ooh, da doo doo doo. Like nobody else is gonna do that. Yeah, we freestyle sometimes, but in terms of musicality and making music and like being an actual vocalist.
Yeah. I feel like Back Home really showed all. I like that song a lot. It's just the video. It's hard. It's just, you know, it's in the hood. It's classic.
It did exactly.
It's a classic.
It did exactly what I wanted it to, and I appreciate that, bro. Like I put it out, and I know it's not my best song. Like you know, stuff like that is up to, it's for your perspective. Like,
it is.
It's a feeling.
Cause that's a great question. It kind of segues. I have my questions lined up, but like, what is your favorite song you would say, or your best song?
I don't have one, bro. I don't have one.
Is it just too hard to pick? Could you have it in the top 5?
No.
It's just impossible. You like them all equally, like they're all like your kids.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like before I had my son Vision, I used to think like, God forbid if anything was to happen to me out here, like my music is my child. Like that's what I have left, and that's what's gonna live on even long after I'm gone. Like my music is gonna outlive me.
Of course.
Like people in my, it's gonna be here. It's like it's timeless, you know. So That's why it means a lot. I don't want to, like you said, it's like my babies. I don't have a favorite kid. I only have one son, but still.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if you ever were to have more, it's not gonna be.
I'm not gonna love you more than the other.
Yeah,
like, there are things that I may like more, or like just everything is different. There's a time and place for everything. So
exactly. As we were saying, every actor has different roles given the movie.
Yeah, that's fair. You know? And whether you're a major role or minor role, as long as you played your role to the fullest and you did what you had to do, can't nobody tell you that anybody was better than you. Nothing. You did what you had to do.
You did.
Mission accomplished. And now when I look back on it, and I'm like, nostalgic. Like, that was my first video. And it was my first video. That's how I feel about it. Like, oh, look at him.
Is this your first interview? Or
no, this isn't my first interview. I've had a few. I don't really get I feel like I haven't earned myself that right to not even a right per se, but I don't want to be one of the people that just has nothing but exclusive music, and just because I know you and you yo, you're dope, pull up for an interview. I would I want people to hit me up after I put out content and I share it. That's just so it makes me feel like I'm moving forward in my career as opposed to just networking and staying stagnant musically. It's time to drop now. I dropped the song, so I feel like now, what better time than to have interviews,
Yeah. So. And that song that you dropped, Vibe With Me.
Yeah.
I personally, I think I don't know if I say it's your best song, but it's your most recent, so it's most commercial, right? Okay. I think it's mixed and mastered really well. You show the singing, you show the rapping. Also, when you performed it at the Space Syndicate show, I think the performance really sold it. Whereas you had your girl come out, do the dance, she killed it.
Shout out to
you killed it.
Shout out to City the King for the mix and master, and shout out to Space Syndicate. Y'all already know it was a little
that was a flop. And out of everybody who was there, all of my boys were telling me yo, bro, that One Kid Reality really stole the show. Cause I ain't gonna lie, how you said the stage presence that comes from the church background, whatever it may be, just who you are. That stage presence really did shine through.
Yeah, and it's just another thing. We all have our off days where we're not as confident,
of course,
as we may want to be. But I'm just so self-aware, and I'm aware of the fact that even if somebody was to clone you, they could never be you. Your clone could view all of your experiences, but they could never go through what you go through. That wind isn't gonna hit the same as the same day you woke down. You know what I mean? So it's you're so you and you're so unique. Can't nobody beat you. So I feel like I don't have to be the best rapper. I don't have to be the best singer, the best producer. I just gotta be the best version of me.
Just gotta step into your own shoes and embody that to the fullest.
That's a fact.
And so we was talking about your son because your son was he was born in April, right? April 2020?
April 12th, 2020, 2020 Visions, my baby boy.
Oh, I didn't even put that together too, because his name is Vision. So 2020, that's wavy. That's cool as hell. How did that change your outlook on life and obviously therefore your music, or does that kind of play a role in that?
As soon as he came out, I was just different. I don't even really know how to explain it. No excuses. It's it just clicked in my brain. I can't be nah, I don't want to do that. If I gotta do it, I gotta do it. It's you can't tell me nothing. I don't know. So I feel I became slightly more aggressive in a sense.
You have more hunger.
Yeah, and I'm always hungry. That's the thing. I'm not doing this for me. It's never been about me. Mm-hmm. But now there's a completely innocent being that I helped create. That's my greatest song ever.
Of course.
But I'd be bugging if I didn't push that, And by me helping push that is making sure that he's set up. I want to make sure my credit is straight, so I can add him as a authorized user. So by the time he's 18, 21, he'll be able to go get a crib. You know what I mean? Oh, dad good looks. I want to do that. He deserves it.
All that.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that, because you also put out your latest project, 10/1/12, and that I'm still trying to figure out what that date, if that's even a date, what's the significance behind that? Was that just Well, that'll be September 1st,
October 1st.
October. You know, I'm dumb as hell, bro. October month. October 1st, 2012. What's like, because I'd say that project is a lot about different, like a relationship. It feels like first with conversation, then texting while intoxicated, like, you know, sort of that progression towards, you know, maybe like a toxic relationship, I'd say. I don't know, that's my interpretation of it.
Before it even gets to like toxic, it's just about young love. You know, some people try to discredit it. I remember being in a relationship. That was my first love. So 10/1/12, that was the day we got together. And a lot of people, like, you got to, like, it's like getting a girl's name tatted in a sense, or vice versa. I didn't view it as that, even though I know why that makes sense. When we got together the day before, like that night leading up to then, we had like a 7-hour conversation and just about everything from like, isn't it crazy how I'm right here and you're over there and we can talk right now? Like,
yeah, the advent of
that's not weird. And I can talk to you in real time as if you was right next to me. And she was like, yeah, that is weird. Like, you know, things like that, to like all the way up to topics about virginity. And I got to like really understand what that meant to a young girl. Cause you know, neighborhood we come from, even though a lot of us are like raised by single mothers, not everybody has like the self-awareness or the self-respect or just respect in that right for women in general. Like, I remember just being young and just being like my hormones raging and not really caring too much. And that made me care. My outlook was different. And I realized, I was like, damn, like, we gotta do better. Like, we gotta do better. So I'm understood what that meant. Like, I'm not just quick to just like slide inside of somebody. Every girl's got what every other girl's got. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what do you got for me?
Yeah. Kind of applying more of like a mentality and a consciousness towards exactly the hormones that's already there.
Yeah.
Like, you can't control the hormones, but it's important that sooner or later you find some kind of mentality to. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And it's just like finding a balance between the two. So 10/1/12, like, it was a project that I didn't, like, at one point I wanted to write about it so bad, and I had concepts that I already started writing about. And I already told Oz, who produced most of the joints on there.
Thanks.
It was me and Oz, we started from the bottom types, you know. So Oz was like, he knew me when I was going through that relationship. He seen my ups, my downs, and all of that. And he was a person I told. So I was like, yo, bro, I want to do this project. He was like, all right, you gonna do it? And then after a while, my interactions with my ex at that point, like, they weren't the best. And then I started to see why, and I was like, oh, nah, like, yeah, it's clipped. Like, all right.
You kind of felt like you got into a point in a relationship that there was no saving it anymore.
But there wasn't. Like, I can't save you. I can't think for you. You know, I know where I'm at. And I just wanted to like reflect, because I feel like that whole time being a young man, everybody's like, oh, you guys cheat. I'm like, yeah, I did what I did. Yeah. At the same time, I'm not making excuses. This is just the reason behind the season, you know. So I was just like, I'm a different person. I just wanted to tell a story about, like, you know, young love.
Did you feel like any type of way, like being that vulnerable to basically talk about your first heartbreak? Because I know not a lot of men, like, not a lot of people, period, but especially, you know.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Do you think it's worth it in the long run?
Absolutely.
You would do it again?
I'll never go through that same thing. God's willing. But if things you gotta speak about, me, and I gotta be real with myself, like, people connect with pain. That's like, we all know what pain is. Yeah. Not everybody knows what love is, even though we can try our best to make like words into a definition, take words and make a definition of it, but like, you know what love is, and a lot of people who've never experienced like what you would call love, what I would call love, but everybody knows pain, whether it be like death or dishonesty. Like, everybody knows pain.
There's that expectation that you wanted met that never was. Yeah, whether it be like a goal you set for yourself,
that's a fact.
Somebody else told you a problem, whatever it may be.
The craziest lines be the lines that you can relate to, like, ooh.
Like, yeah, that nigga talking right now.
That was some heat. And that's pretty much where I'm at with it. You know, like, don't gotta tell everybody my whole life story, like how like I slept on the twin side. Like, no, I don't need to say all that, but like,
Yeah.
you know, if the situation calls for it, so be it.
If it's relevant and you feel like you can add value to the people around you by being honest about your own experience.
I honestly feel like I don't sound like a wimp. Like I sound like, damn, that nigga went through some shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's a real nigga right there.
Hell yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't feel like I come off like.
You feel like, like you
I'm
was,
just keeping it a buck.
you're authentic at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, my whole family had been in prison on my mother's side. My pops, my mother, they were both in and out of prison, so I was raised by my grandmother. There's so much like things to do out here in the street to get money, but at the same time, like I wanted to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
I wanted to be performing at the Apollo. I wanted to perform at Madison Square Garden. Like the stuff everybody out here doing, I may not be interested in everything. Like I want to go upstairs and watch Marvel breakdowns. How about that? Like
Yeah.
And you know, chasing pussy kept the brother out of trouble.
Yeah.
So I ain't even mad at it, you know. And I'm passionate about that. I take my relationship seriously. Like I don't beef with my friends that I was cool with in like 3rd grade. You can hit it if I ain't talked to them in 10 years. I could still hit them up and probably be like, yo, like
What we
every
doing?
time I see Darwin, yo, it's good, bro. And I knew Darwin since he was taller than me. Facts. He
Yeah.
used to tower over me.
He told me like back in like kindergarten, y'all was like best friends.
That's a
and shit.
fact.
Yeah.
Me, him, Kamari, Flock, like we was out here, you know. So it was the guys.
It's all like different steps in the journey.
You know that everybody's here for a reason. You know, some people I've been cool with that I could still be cool with, but you just don't need to be around every day.
Yeah.
You know, some people gotta serve a purpose, and if your purpose is served, so be it. Thank you. Yeah. Wish you the best.
Of course, on to whatever's next.
I just hope I did the same.
Of course.
You know?